So I'm looking forward to hearing you all. In particular, one of the things I'm really passionate about, both doing and teaching, is improvisation. So I'm looking forward to hearing some solos, and because to me that's the exciting and unique thing about jazz music is it gives us the opportunity to creatively express ourselves a little bit and inject our own musical personalities into the situation with the solos that we play. So I'd say don't hold back on your solos. Go for it. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're hearing, I want to hear you express that on your instrument. Raise your hand if you're going to play an improvisation of some kind today. That's awesome. Great. So I think you're all playing a little bit on Oye Como Va. Is that right? Cool. Well, good. I look forward to it.
Okay, I am back with music. All right. Here we go. Knock on wood. First 51 measures. All right. Hey, nothing to be nervous about. We're not getting adjudicated. It's not a competition. We're just having fun. All right. One, two, one, two, three, four. All right. Next piece. Oye como va. Let's determine some solo order while we're stopped. You are so close, and we're going to review which one we actually do. It's not going to be B flat blues. So, we have for Oye como va 3 different ways you can base your solo. You can choose one of the 3, or you can head into a blues buffet or solo buffet. You can do all 3. So one of the ways, arpeggios. So let's play the F dominant 7th arpeggio up and down. Da 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 as quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second chord, B flat 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, second way we can do this is we can lean on certain notes that change. So let's play concert A flat for 4 beats, going to an A flat for 4 beats. Rhythm section. Find the measure where the solo starts. You're going to groove. Okay? You're going to groove as we play whole notes on these voices. All right? And I'll put my guests towards the rhythm section so you can see how they work together from 6 feet apart in these really interesting times. All right, from consonant A to consonant A flat and whole notes, well, the rhythm section plays their part where the solo happens. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Rhythm section, we're going to do 8 more measures. And now you're going to go concert E flat to concert D, whole note each pitch. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and you heard what I did. I went to the top notes as you played the bottom notes there. So you can hear how the chords fit in and what makes that super cool. Next thing, third thing you can do, if that's a little too advanced, we're still working up our confidence on solos, good old F blues scale. So let's play an F blues scale using the formula, you know, 1 flat, 3, 4 sharp, 4, 5 flat, 7, 1. Apply it to F, concert F. And let's go whole notes up and down. Let's play through solo backgrounds as we're doing that, all right? So back to the beginning of the solo section, rhythm section. Everyone else, we're going to do blues scales, whole notes starting on F. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Cool. We're going to go through Oye Como Va. Let's start with someone that was actually here 2 days ago, so not Sam. We're going to start with Jasmine. Go through the sax section. After Paul, I'll go 8 measures, then followed by Brock. Then we'll snake through the rhythm section, Roslyn and Emma, then trumpets. Okay, ending with the one and only. After you see Sam playing his solo, you are in rhythm section at 63. We change key, we play it out. Okay, here we go. From the top, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Lester leaps in. All right. Straight ahead, folks. No repeats. Straight ahead. Thank you, everyone, for being great and playing solos with guests. That's awesome. It was fun. That's really good to hear. Cool. Well, consider it done. Yes. Jake on everything. We haven't had a chance to have you practice it. I don't want to throw you in. But next week, let's put you back in.
Okay.
Sounds like you really want to, though.
I kind of. At the
What?
same
Where
time,
do you want to play the ones at 81, the four measure ones?
I kind of want to do like the full solo break. At the same time, I'm like.
You know what? Do you want to do the four measure ones though? I'm totally okay doing that. I just don't want to throw you into the crazy, but let's give it to you. Okay, so Jake, Paul's gonna take the four measure ones at 81. Okay, so Paul, they're yours. Jake, you got the long one like always, and that's good. And here we go. Lester leaps in, and I'm gonna just change the camera angle so we can see a little of everyone from the Zoom side of things. Check, there we go. Okay. All right, go. A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right. And in a normal performance setting, we'd have you stand up and we'd take a bow and we'd have a whole bunch of people going crazy, but we'll have a virtual applause and we'll settle it down instead. Okay, with that said, welcome back to our clinic with Dr. Conrad, and have your pencils at the ready for some really, really amazing information. They're all
Hey, Ben.
yours.
Great to hear you. Well done. I hope you had fun playing. I'd first of all just like to congratulate you on uh, the major feat that it is to perform as a jazz band in the middle of a pandemic. There are all sorts of challenges, as you know, barriers to your success. You know, reduced rehearsal time. You have all this distance between you, and other mitigation strategies. So, in spite of all that, you guys are still able to play this music, and so I just want to give you some props for that because that's no small task. Uh, and credit to your director for his great teaching and helping guide you through that as well. So we only have a little bit of time, but I was kind of making some notes as I was listening to you, and I figured I'd offer a few thoughts. Um, so back to knock on wood. The first thing that I wrote down was nice articulation, style, and phrasing in the lead alto. So I really liked the way that you were playing those melodies, that you were adding a little bit of what I might call sauce on those phrases. Um, you know, not just playing the notes and rhythms, but you know, making it mean something. So thanks for that. From the whole band, one thing I'd like to hear more of throughout all of your tunes, but in particular, the first time I noticed it was on the intro for Knock on Wood, is more of this idea of getting out of the way on long notes and crescendoing into the next thing, whether that's a release or the next phrase. In jazz music and all of the kind of subgenres under the jazz umbrella, like funk, um, almost every long note has kind of a miniature forte piano crescendo on it. And it gives the music this excitement and forward direction if we go da instead of just da da. So I'd like to hear a little bit of that, even when it's not printed in the music. I'd like to hear a little bit more of that from you guys. Can we just try that on that intro real quick? I want you to play it one more time and attack the notes. Give them a good front attack and then come down right away. And then crescendo through the long notes and just see what that does for the feeling of the music. All right, let's play the first 4 or 8 bars or whatever it is.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes. So
Okay.
already that's a huge improvement. To me as the listener, that's way more exciting. It sounds like the music is going somewhere. So saxophones, you're the first ones to do it. You have a couple long notes on your phrases at the beginning. You get to kind of set the tone and say, hey, band, this is how we're going to do it. And then the brass have to imitate that when they come in with theirs. So I would just, copy and paste that same kind of idea throughout the whole chart. Anything that's like a dotted quarter note or longer needs that kind of energy to it. So thank you. It's rare that a band, I say a comment like that and a band is able to do it just right away. So thank you for that. And that's an easy fix. And then I would say the same thing applies for Lester Leaps In, right? You could do that same kind of stuff. There are some other things on Knock on Wood, but you guys are overall doing a nice job there. Groove sounds good. Like I said, cool articulation in the saxes. So let's get on to Oye Como Va. So I've got a couple ideas here. First of all, a question for the solo section. So you guys are treating those both as dominant chords, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now this might just be your arrangement of the tune that you guys are playing. I'm used to it being a minor 7 followed by a dominant chord, which you can hear in that section that goes. Now it works either way, but I was just curious how it's written in the chart there.
Yeah, it's dominant followed by dominant, but we can turn that first one into an F minor 7. We just lower
You
the
certainly could. That would align more with what's on the original recording. It works the way you have it too. So if you guys have gotten used to doing it that way, it's cool. I just wanted to clarify. And the two approaches you've been given to the solo section are great. So step 1 is always know what the roots are, know what key you're in, because you want to know what your home bass is, right? So for this, home bass or tonic is da, that concert F. So it's good to kind of start and end your phrases around that, or center your notes around that. I'm going to give you one more. So you have your blues scale, you have your arpeggios. I'm going to give you one more scale that you can kind of play around with, not to overwhelm you with different options, but one that I really like is if you take your F major scale and you just do scale degrees 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. That's called a pentatonic scale. So can we all do that now? All right, 1, 2, quarter notes, go. That's right. Try it again. Hold out your concert F, band. Let's hear it. 3, 4. Good. And we're going to go up from there. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So you're skipping the 4th note of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so this is called a major pentatonic scale, and it's a scale that's really easy to make melodies with. You hear it all the time used in solos. Now, to make it fit both of these chords and kind of to fit the vibe of the song, you can lower the 3rd and do what I call a minor 6 pentatonic. So do that same thing, but you're just going to take your 3rd note and you're going to lower it a half step. So trombones, that's going to be A flat instead of A. Same for rhythm section. Trumpets, that's going to be B flat instead of B. Same for tenors. Altos and bari, that's going to be F instead of F sharp, right? So it'll sound like this. Can we try that? Quarter notes, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now I'm going to try something where I play a phrase and I want you to play it back to me. All right? So I'm going to start on that concert F. Listen and repeat. 1, 2, 3. Good. Nice ears, guys. Now I'm going to go below. See if you can find that note. It's going to be the same note as the one that was on top of the scale. All right? So listen carefully. 1, 2, 3. Good. Here's another one. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, cool. So on Oye Como Va. So I'm just using that scale and creating some melodies. It's just another option for some different notes. I really like the sound of that 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sounds really nice, and it's something when I hear the recording of Santana playing this, he's using that note a lot. It works especially well on the concert B flat 7 because it's the third of that chord, right? If you guys have been practicing your arpeggios, so you know that. So I just wanted to give one more option for you to kind of play around with at home, and then maybe bring into the band room on this tune if you're hearing some melodies. So what we were just doing where I play a melody and you repeat it is a great way to kind of build your ears, and I encourage you all to do that with recordings. That's the way that I learned how to play jazz music, is just by putting on my favorite recordings, and then whenever I heard something that I wanted to know how to do, I would press pause and just try to figure it out. And it took me a really long time. I wasn't very good at it at the beginning. And there were some things that I just was too hard for me. But then the more I worked on that skill, the better I got at it. And you know, it's gotten to the point where now it's really fun for me to do that. The fancy word for that is transcribing, right? You've probably heard that before. But it doesn't have to be like transcribing a full crazy long solo. You can just take one phrase of a solo that you think sounds really good and then figure it out on your instrument. That's a really good way to get started. So if you're not already doing some of that, I highly recommend that. And you just all proved to me that you can, because you did it right now. You just transcribed what I was playing. So good. So really good starts on the solos. I like all the different approaches you guys are taking. One thing I would say to always think about, we think about notes, right? What notes we're playing. I just gave you another scale. We think about rhythm. You want to make sure that what you're playing is grooving with the rhythm section. That's probably even more important than the notes. And then the other thing I would say is phrasing. So what I mean by that is to try to, there's just a very simple idea of making sure that the lengths of your phrases are varied. So if I start playing a solo and I'm always doing this like a bunch of short one-bar phrases, there's nothing wrong with any of those phrases that I played, right? But it's starting to get predictable. Like you always know where I'm going to start and stop. So if I just take the simple idea of trying to mix in some long phrases with some short phrases, listen to what that does. So I've got some short ones, some long ones, and it starts to become interesting. Like you don't know what I'm going to do next. That's the idea. You want to draw the listener in and make them like follow every note that you're playing. Like, oh, I wonder what he's going to do next. And a great way to do that is by leaving space between the phrases so that there's some anticipation you're building for what your next phrase is going to be. But if you just take that very simple concept of like sometimes with my students, I'll have them do two shorts, one long in terms of phrases. So try to play one short phrase, leave a space, another short phrase, leave a space, and then play a phrase that goes on for a little while and leave a space. And just kind of mixing your short phrases and your long phrases does a lot to keep the solos interesting. All right, so I see that we're running out of time here. I had a couple other things, but maybe I'll take my notes here that I was writing, and I'll type some of them up and send them to your director, and he can share them with you at your next rehearsal. Just some little ensemble articulation things. Sorry we didn't have time to talk about Lester Leaps In, but a lot of nice things happening there. Nice job on the alto there. And was it who was the other soloist? No, another sax solo. Nice job to you as well in the exchange between the band and you. So I'll send those notes to your director, and you guys can maybe chat about those a bit. But I hope that gives you a few things in the improvisation world to kind of like chew on a little bit.
All right, hey everybody, how about a huge thank you to Dr. Conrad again. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate it. And now for a word literally from our sponsors. Say hello once again to Dr. Hegland. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hey, welcome to Jazz in the Schools 2021. We're really glad you could be here today. And as you know, this event is sponsored by the Reno Jazz Orchestra. And hey, how about this clinician today, Mike Conrad? Man, what a great clinic. Some really great things. And another hand for Mike Conrad. Yeah. And as you maybe know, Mike comes from University of Northern Iowa, where he is assistant professor of jazz studies and music education. Also a great writer and arranger. He plays obviously trombone and piano, and he has won 4 ASCAP Herb Alpert Young Jazz Composer Awards and 7 Downbeat Awards. So very prolific composer and performer. I want to mention a couple things that your directors maybe talked about on Saturday. There's going to be a performance at 11 a.m. as part of Jazz in the Schools, and it's Julian Knowles, who is one of our recent graduates at the University of Nevada, Reno, great trumpet player, and he has a group together doing some of his original music, and he's going to perform, and then there's going to be time for some question and answer, and then he'll play a little bit more. So I really hope you can join us for that Saturday at 11. And I also want to tell you about the Saturday Jazz Workshop that's coming up this semester. Rehearsals begin in April. This semester, you'll have the opportunity to learn jazz tunes, improvise, and the final project will be a recording session at Tanglewood Studios. Please let your director know if you're interested. Registration information will be sent out this month. So that's a really great opportunity coming up for everybody. So thanks again for being involved in this. And thank you, Mr. Jacques, for your great work with the band. And thanks again, Mike Conrad, for being with us.
All right, thank you again, everyone. A huge thank you one last time. All right. And with that, there's the closing bell of rehearsal. And have a great rest of your day, Jazz Band.
Hey, Mike.